like in the second half of the series where they introduce Amelia. They go to Seiroon, and I don't care if you guys pronounce it as Seiloon with an L. Okay, I'm going by the
Sailor? It's the
like
first I've heard about that. I
like
always
I
say
said. There
Sailor.
was some different there were like some different translation things all over the series depending on who translates it.
Isn't it kind of like that dub of DBZ where they call Piccolo Big Green?
No, it's not that off.
Oh, and
They
clearing.
tried to pronounce it, but then they would fuck it up somehow. Yeah, right here. I'm holding the graphic novel, Volume 4, The Battle of Seiloon, with S spelled Saillune.
Well, that's the first I never called it Sailor. I just
Sometimes
sounds
some
like
goddess's name would be spelled with two S's. Naga's name would be spelled with an H in there. It's weird.
Saloon. That sounds like a weird way of saying an old Texan saloon.
Well,
Gonna go to the saloon. Gonna get me a drink.
well, they go to Seiloon, and it turns out they see Lena and Gary see wanted posters of themselves, and they get arrested while they're there by Zangulis and Vromigan, and I love how Amelia takes, she's like, whoever survives the fireball is the good guy. So she throws a huge fireball, blows them both up, and Lena stands up. Which is a fucked up way of telling who's good and who's evil. That's like...
They introduce Zangulis in that
that
brief saga as well.
That's like throwing a piece of toast up in the air to see if there's the devil among us. Oh wait, they did do that.
Oh yeah. And I can't remember what the wizard was called, but you had it was Amelia, Zangulis, and this other guy that was following her. That
I just said his name, Vromigan.
Ah, right.
Yeah, the dude with the gem in his head.
Yeah, and that whole episode where they dressed Gowry up as a woman.
Yeah, they did that twice in the entire series.
They did it again? Oh yeah,
that
I
episode
remember
where apparently no men are allowed in the city, so everyone had a cross dress. And I love the plot twist at the fucking end.
Everyone was really a man. Yeah,
that was fucked up.
God.
And I'm
surprised Cloud Stripe wasn't amongst them. Burn.
I actually think they made a reference to Revolution Girl Utena in that series, but I gotta see it again. But
I still need to watch that one.
But I love how everyone's like, oh wait, you're a guy, and you're a guy? That means Lena is a guy too! Fuck you!
Oh yeah, we forgot a running joke in that series. There's a running joke in Slayers that everyone keeps commenting that she's flat-chested.
She's actually okay sized when I see her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's flat-chested. Even Amelia, who's about a year younger than her. I love that scene where it was this episode where Martina puts a curse on Lena.
Oh, I love that one.
At the bathhouse, it's like, hurry up, Miss Lena. It's like, God damn, you can be so immature. Walks into the bathhouse, sees Amelia. Big fucking wreck. Okay, now you see another clue between Naga and Amelia.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, so much for being immature.
Yeah.
I think they made a reference to Slayers the Motion Picture when they mentioned that bathhouse.
Oh yeah. Because the whole subplot. You jump into the bath, your breast might grow.
Yeah, that was like a subplot in Slayers the Motion Picture. Turns out the dude was BSing so he could motivate her to, do good things. And then Amelia mentions that same thing again, and Lena got pissed and burned her for it.
They also make another reference to that movie. This is one episode where I can't remember which one it was, but I remember the scene where she summons this jellyfish spell, and she goes, and the guy who's fighting her says, "That's an interesting spell," and she goes, "Yeah, just don't ask me who taught me it." I still think one of the funnier jokes in that episode with the Martina curse is that bit where Zell's in the bath. He looks at one of his hairs and just simply says, "I have split ends."
Dude, his hair's made of metal. I like that. But yeah, I did like the episode where I did like the scene where Lena kicks Gary in the groin. You may have seen this if you watch some of Big Al's older videos. He would actually put that scene in his video intro for some reason.
Let's try a direct demonstration.
Boom! Ow! And then Lena goes, ha ha! Psh, ow!
That's a clever trick though. Every time she hurts somebody, it comes back at her, which is kind of cool.
Huh, it's the only way you could probably kill her.
Yeah. And even when it had the curse on her, she just...
Oh, she went ape shit on Martina. I think she made a joke about her chest. It's like, oh
Flat
no,
chest, what did you call me?
you're gonna hurt us above. I don't care. I'm taking you down.
I think the only problem I have with Lena is because, I mean, she solves every single problem with a Dragon Slave. It's basically like her Kamehameha, basically. And it's like, sometimes you look at it and go, did you really need to use that? Like, every single problem could be solved with that.
Yeah,
It's like,
except it really doesn't, because every time she uses the Dragon Slave, well, not every time, but majority of the time, it always ends in complete disaster. The first episode, she uses it on the dragon, blows up the entire village.
yeah.
There was this one scene where she used the Dragon Slave on the dragon, who was later found out to be Ophelia, causes a tidal wave, wipes out the port city. She uses a Dragon Slave to stop a runaway moving castle that was going to head towards the Temple of the Dragon Shrine. You remember that episode?
Yeah, it's in the first series.
Yeah, she uses the Dragon Slave. Wasn't good enough. Still blew up a piece of the fucking building.
She blows in the first episode of Next. She uses it when they were supposed to deliver a message from her father, and so Lena blows up the entire fucking kingdom.
Yeah, she blows up her kingdom, and Martina wants revenge. Hence why she's in that entire season. And the later in the middle of that arc, in the middle of Next, when I think she uses the Dragon Slave on that falling platform. I forgot the name of those two demons. But
the guy and the girl.
Yeah, they worked for Gav. And
I'm trying to remember their names now. I mean, there's a redhead girl and the guy with the green hair. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched it, so...
Yeah, and those characters were pretty... I didn't like them that much. They were just basically generic, bland. Oh, they're evil people. They're just Bazaku for the sake. I don't... the only other one I read...
We're like Team Rocket, but we're drawn better.
Yeah. Well, she casts a Dragon Slave to stop the floating castle from falling, which almost worked, except she still managed to create a crater with that Dragon Slave, which made Filianelle and Amelia faint. So it's not really the perfect weapon. It's just it can't be used properly.
I remember watching the Slayers Premium audio commentary where Crispin Freeman says to Cynthia, who's a voice actress, he goes, "So when are you going to learn a different spell?" So that's my sort of problem. It's like, when are you going to learn something that doesn't do that much destruction?
Yeah, I only know 4 characters that use the Dragon Slave. Lena herself, that guy who was wrapped in bandages.
Oh, apparently those two Gav henchmen were called Kanzel and Maganess. Am I pronouncing that right? I just looked it up.
Huh. Yeah, Kanzel sounds familiar. I don't know about Maganess.
Magenta. I pronounced it wrong, apparently.
Oh, okay. But, who's the mummy guy? Zolf?
Zolf.
Yeah, Zolf. He also knew the Dragon Slave, but he died right after he used it, which was kind of depressing, because
Sophia knew how to do it.
Yeah, Sophia knew how to do it, and the 4th character is, I think his name is Pagoda. He's from Slayer's Revolution.
He's the new guy.
Yeah. I don't hate him. I was kind of annoyed at him at first, but then I grew to like him.
So we're going with a furry sidekick this time. Okay.
Actually, he used to be human until I'm in Slayer's Revolution. He used to be human until like a disease hit his fucking kingdom. He's a prince in that kingdom apparently, and there was no like cure for it. There was no spell. There was no medicinal cure. Nothing. Rezo decides to come by and help, but the only way he could help was freeze their bodies and in some sort of deep coma state. And they gave him and another character, I think is, I need to pull this series up. Let's see, characters.
Yeah. I mean, I still gotta watch
he was this gray tiger dude. He was actually he's actually a pretty awesome badass. Let's see, villains, minor characters, Bravos. Moon Suzuma, Copy Rezo, Vaga, Deal Gear. I wonder if they actually updated this to have those characters in there. Deities. So those... Oh, wow, I don't think they're in there.
I remember like they had Lord Garv from Try.
Yeah. Well, actually, if Valgov's from Try, Gov's next.
Oh, right. Oh, Valgar, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Gov is voiced by Dan Green.
Oh, God.
Yeah, in fact, he voices a lot of characters. He voices another character in Revolution named,
He was that cop, wasn't he? Because I remember seeing, like... I think I saw at least one episode in Japanese on YouTube, but that was about it.
Yeah, he was he was Inspector Weiser Freyon, and at first I kind of found him annoying because he's like a Zenigata clone, but his motivations and everything just make me laugh. Because he wants to capture Lena Everest so he can impress all the ladies.
And like, I remember my brother telling me because he watches it as well. Like he said, like there's this one plot where like this guy pegs every single crime on Lena.
Oh yeah, that's all he does. It's like, oh wow, animals are disappearing? This must be the work of you, Lena Inverse. It has to be!
Guy's more clueless than Knuckles.
Oh yeah, dude, like, Lena gets so pissed off that he uppercuts him, like... Sometimes, and here's the thing, he's like one of those characters where he may be stupid at first, but he's got ulterior motives, and he's actually smarter than you think he is. Like, it turns out the whole petting, the kidnapping on Lena might actually just be a ruse so he can investigate the mysterious disappearances. Or that's what Lena said. And, you know, what Weiser didn't really, you know, come off as stupid or whatever. He actually came off as pretty serious, so it looked like he was just pulling that. And then he does the same thing at the end of the series when he's trying to find out the people who tried to fund the city of Tafarashia, that disease city I just mentioned earlier.
Right.
And he tried to find out what the hell was going on with that. Then he got caught in a trap, but then he managed to survive. I like that character. I heard he was in the book. I heard that Revolution, Evolution R were actually using material of stuff that wasn't used in the novels yet. Let's see. Okay. The second season Slayer's next. After they find Seru, they were framed. It turns out it was Copy Rezo that was trying to do something.
And some girl, I forget her name.
Eris.
That's it.
I was actually reading volume 3 of the books, which, you know, The Ghost of Cyrag. That's the name of the kingdom. And I think Eris is just a lowly bounty hunter or something in there. She wasn't an evil she wasn't an evil sorceress that served under Rezo.
I think she was his assistant, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was just an assistant. I don't think she was in that book. She doesn't. The way she's describing everything doesn't match with that version whatsoever.
Right. Creative license, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to be resurrect. They wanted to look for Rezo's legacy, and I think it was actually a manuscript of the Clare Bible.
Yeah, that's kind of like the common MacGuffin throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
This legendary book that has every spell ever written.
I think they eventually used some. I think they eventually used the Clare Bible manuscripts in Revolution as well. And he uses it to God, what he wanted to, you know, resurrect. What was the other? Xanathar.
Happy, yeah.
Yeah, Xanathar actually appears again in Revolution. It's kind of surprising how they did it too.
It's like we're going back with that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
artificial. We're also going back to Rezo and Evolution R. Apparently,
again?
he's not dead. Apparently, I'm actually interested. I'm actually.
This guy's got more fake outs than the fucking Marvel's comic.
No, that's not nearly as enough. And hey, at least it's not Frieza.
Oh yes. I'm an evil guy and I sound like Judi Dench. In one dub, I swear, Frieza sounds like Judi Dench in one dub of DBZ I saw.
Oh god.
I'm going to kill you, Mr. Bond. Dragon Ball Z confuses me.